Welcome to Sleep Shaper, your destination for expertly crafted sleep stories that help you fall asleep faster and deeper. Tonight, we'll step away from the weight of the day and enter a place untouched by time. A secret garden that comes alive beneath the moonlight. A place where petals unfold like whispered lullabies and peace waits just beyond the gate. I'm so glad you've chosen to be here. Together, we'll take a journey into quiet beauty, where every moment is slower, softer, and where you are held by the gentle rhythm of nature itself. So now, let's begin. Before we step into the garden, I invite you to find a place of comfort, somewhere you can truly rest. Whether you're nestled beneath the covers, curled in your favorite corner, or simply wrapped in a soft blanket, let your body begin to settle. Take a long, slow breath and let it ease out softly again. Gently inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Let the breath be your anchor. Soft, steady, slow. With every exhale, feel your body becoming heavier, sinking deeper into rest. Picture yourself standing at the edge of something quiet and beautiful. An old ivy-thicket gate, half hidden by moonlight, waiting just for you. Behind it lies a secret space, a garden untouched by time, still lush, a place where flowers bloom silently in the dusk, and the world gently fades away. Imagine stepping closer. The air is cool but welcoming, carrying the scent of lavender and night jasmine. Each breath you take fills you with calm. The sweet floral air wrapping around you like a silk shawl. Light and soft, the hum of crickets sings in the distance. Faint, gentle, familiar, and somewhere deeper in the garden, you hear the slow rustle of leaves swaying in the evening breeze. It's as though the world itself is exhaling with you. Letting go, slowing down. Let the muscles in your face soften. Let your shoulders drop and your hands relax completely. You are safe. You are here. You are being held by stillness. The moonlight glows above you, casting silver trails across soft moss-covered paths. And as you walk, you notice the ground beneath your feet is plush and quiet, like walking on a bed of velvet leaves. Each step draws you deeper into peace. There is no rush, no sound of the world you left behind, only the hush of night, the scent of flowers, and the slow, warm rhythm of your breath. In this place, time moves differently, slower, smoother, as if the garden exists in a dream of its own. Feel your body relax a little more. Let go of the day. Let go of thinking. There's nothing you need to hold on to. Nothing you need to fix. You're already exactly where you need to be. Surrounded by beauty, wrapped in moonlight, carried by calm with every breath. You sink deeper. The hush of dusk surrounds you. The garden is waiting, and your journey begins now.
As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, the sky becomes a canvas of warm oranges and soft pinks, casting long, gentle shadows over the ancient city. The once bustling streets now hum with the distant whispers of evening, the air thick with the last whispers of daylight. Amid this serene transition, Lily, a traveller worn by both the road and her thoughts, steps into a forgotten alley. The city's hum is a faint murmur in the distance, but here, at the edge of the world, it feels as though time itself has paused. The weight of the journey that has long pressed upon her shoulders begins to lift as she notices a subtle, almost imperceptible shift in the air. The cool breeze carries with it the scent of jasmine and lavender, two fragrances she has not encountered for many years. Their aroma is delicate, almost ethereal, swirling around her like an invitation. The air wraps itself around her like a soft, familiar blanket, its coolness soothing the warmth left by the day's sun. She inhales deeply, allowing the peace of the moment to fill her lungs, washing away the exhaustion of the miles she has walked. It is here, in this fleeting moment of stillness, that Lily notices a gate, rusted, forgotten, but still holding a trace of grace draped in ivy that has claimed its walls as its own. The stone beneath the creeping vines is worn, yet solid, as though it too has borne witness to countless stories of time and travel. Compelled by an unspoken curiosity, she reaches out, her fingers brushing the cool, rough texture of the metal gate. With a soft groan, it responds to her touch, creaking open as though it recognizes her presence, inviting her in. The scent of the garden beyond spills into the air, its richness calling to something deep within her, something long buried, yet strangely familiar. The gate opens with ease, and Lily steps through, her heart lifting with each breath of the crisp, fragrant air that meets her. Beyond the gate lies a garden like none Lily has ever seen. The space is alive, though seemingly untouched by time, lush, verdant, and bathed in the soft silver glow of the rising moon. Flowers bloom quietly in the moonlight, their petals delicate and shimmering, catching the light with a subtle grace. Each bloom seems to radiate a gentle energy, as if the garden itself is alive, breathing in time with her. The air is thick, with the scent of jasmine, lavender, and something deeper, more elusive, an intoxicating blend of earth and night. Every inhale fills her with a profound sense of calm, her body sinking into the serenity of the space, her mind clearing of its many burdens. Lily's footsteps are muffled by the thick carpet of moss beneath her, the earth soft and yielding, as though it is alive, aware of her every movement. The path ahead is narrow, winding between towering trees, their branches reaching above like open arms, gently swaying with the soft evening breeze. The rustling of the leaves creates a soft melody, a sound so familiar it feels like a lullaby for the soul. The quiet hum of the garden settles around her, so gentle, so soothing, that she feels as though the very earth is welcoming her home. As she walks deeper into the heart of the garden, the world outside, the weight of her travels, the city beyond, fades away, leaving only the rhythm of her own breath and the soft sounds of nature surrounding her. The moonlight bathes everything in a soft glow, transforming the garden into a world of quiet wonder, where each flower seems to bloom just for her. The path curves and twists, leading her through a maze of beauty, as though the garden itself is unfolding before her, inviting her to explore its depths. The deeper she goes, the more she feels the tension of her journey slip away, as though the garden is drawing out all the weariness from her body. Her shoulders, once hunched from the weight of her travels, relax with each step, the burden of the world lifting as the air wraps around her, like a soft embrace. The rhythm of the night, the gentle swaying of the trees, the distant hum of crickets, the soft rustle of leaves sinks into her bones, guiding her forward. In this moment, Lily feels at peace, an unfamiliar but welcome sensation. She belongs here, in this secret place where time seems to have slowed, where the outside world has no power to disturb her quiet reflection. The garden holds her in its embrace, offering her a calm that she did not realize she had been searching for. Her heart, once heavy with uncertainty, now beats in time with the rhythm of the garden, slow and steady. With every step, Lily feels the space between herself and the rest of the world widen until only the quiet beauty of the garden remains. The flowers, the trees, the gentle night air. They seem to wrap around her, embracing her, as though inviting her to leave behind the weight of the past and simply be here in this moment, at peace. As Lily continues to wander deeper into the garden, the air around her shifts, subtly at first, then with increasing intensity. The path, once straight and narrow, begins to wind in ways that feel almost deliberate, as though the garden itself is guiding her. It feels as though the earth beneath her feet is gently nudging her forward, coaxing her through its intricate maze, each turn revealing more of its hidden beauty. The flowers, which had once bloomed serenely in the moonlight, now seem to respond to her presence, their petals glowing brighter, more vibrant. Their fragrances grow richer, more intoxicating, a symphony of scents that blend together in a way that stirs something deep within her. A longing, perhaps, or a memory long forgotten. Jasmine and lavender mix with the deeper, earthier notes of rich moss and damp stone, creating an aroma that fills the air like a warm embrace, drawing Lily further into the heart of the garden. With each step, the perfume becomes heavier, more enveloping, wrapping her in a kind of sweet delirium. The temperature shifts subtly, but not uncomfortably so. The air around her grows warmer, the coolness of the evening now mingling with a softness that caresses her skin like a lover's touch. The breeze that had once been gentle is now more purposeful, moving around her with a living energy. It carries with it a strange hum, almost like a distant chant or song, the notes soft and mysterious. Lily cannot place the source, but it feels like the very essence of the garden itself is alive, breathing with her, guiding her deeper still. The sound of crickets, which had once filled the air with a steady rhythm, now fades into the background, replaced by something softer, more elusive. It is almost as if the sounds of the garden have become more subtle, more intimate, a language that Lily is only beginning to understand. The whispers she hears on the wind are not quite words, but they seem to speak directly to her soul, like a secret carried on the breeze. She pauses, listening intently, though the whispers are just out of reach, too faint to comprehend fully. It's as though the garden is trying to communicate with her, trying to reveal something hidden just beyond her understanding. She looks up, feeling the soft glow of the moon above her, and sees how its light shimmers across the garden. The shadows cast by the trees stretch longer now, like delicate fingers of night reaching across the earth. The moonlight filters through the branches, casting patches of silver light and deep shadow on the ground. In this mystical light, Lily begins to notice something she hadn't before. Symbols etched into the bark of ancient trees, carved deep into the stones that line the winding path. At first, they are faint, barely visible, but as the moonlight shifts, they begin to shimmer faintly as though they are alive, pulsing in time with the rhythm of the garden. The symbols are intricate, twisting in patterns that seem to be both alien and familiar, their meanings lost to time, but their presence undeniable. Lily feels a strange pull toward them, a sense that they hold the answers to questions she has yet to ask. She reaches out tentatively, her fingers brushing the rough bark of a nearby tree where the symbols are carved deep into its surface. The texture is cool beneath her touch, and for a moment she feels the faintest tingle, as if the tree itself is reacting to her presence. The whispers return, louder now, as if the garden is aware of her curiosity. The wind stirs again, and this time it feels like it's speaking directly to her. The whispers flowing through the leaves, carried on the soft breath of the breeze. Lily steps back, a shiver running down her spine, not from fear, but from something far more profound, a sense that she is standing at the threshold of something important, something beyond her understanding. And then, as if summoned by her presence, the figure emerges. Standing just at the edge of the moonlight, cloaked in shadow, a figure appears, draped in dark, flowing robes, their presence both commanding and elusive. They do not move at first, their form indistinct against the darkened backdrop of the garden. Yet there is an undeniable sense that they are watching her, waiting. The air around them feels different, charged, as though the garden itself recognizes the importance of this moment. Lily's breath catches in her throat, not from fear, but from awe, as if she has stumbled upon something sacred, something that has been waiting for her. The figure stands still, their presence calm and yet unsettling, as though they are both a part of the garden and somehow apart from it. Their face is hidden beneath the shadow of their hood, but Lily can feel their gaze, deep and knowing, as though they can see directly into her soul. For a moment, there is only the sound of the wind rustling through the trees and the soft hum of the garden, filling the space between them. Lily takes a hesitant step forward, compelled by a force she cannot explain, drawn to the figure in ways she doesn't fully understand. The figure's voice breaks the silence, low and soft, like the rustle of leaves in the wind. "You've come far, traveler," they say, their words both a welcome and an invitation. "But your journey is not yet complete." Lily's pulse quickens, but she doesn't speak. There's something in their tone, something both calm and knowing, that keeps her from fear. Instead, she feels drawn to them, pulled in by an invisible force, as though she's meant to hear their next words. The figure takes a slow step forward, their movement deliberate, and though their face remains hidden, Lily can sense the weight of their gaze, steady and unwavering. "The garden you've entered," they continue, their voice soft but carrying an undeniable authority, "holds a power far greater than you know. It heals not just the body, but the soul. And you have been chosen to uncover something long lost, something buried deep within this place. Lily feels her heart race at the figure's words, but there is no fear, only a deep curiosity. She can feel the truth of their words in the very air around her, like the garden itself is responding to them. The figure stands silent for a moment, their presence both comforting and mysterious before they speak again. "You must understand," the figure says, their voice almost a whisper now, "that this garden, it's magic. It is a part of you, and you a part of it." The words linger, their meaning settling into Lily's mind like seeds, ready to grow into a truth she has yet to fully comprehend. With the figure's cryptic words hanging in the air, Lily feels the path before her shift, the garden deepening around her, as if she is being drawn into its heart, into the mystery it holds. The moonlight flickers overhead, casting long shadows, and the whispers return, louder now, calling her to step further into the garden's secrets. And Lily, her heart both light and heavy, takes a step forward, ready to uncover the hidden truths of the garden and of herself. The figure steps forward with a deliberate, fluid motion, the rustling of their robes like the whisper of leaves caught in the wind. The sound is soft, almost like a breath of air that stirs the night itself. Yet it carries an undeniable presence, a weight that shifts the very atmosphere around Lily. Her heart skips a beat, but she doesn't retreat. There is no fear in her, only a deep pull of curiosity, as though she is standing before something ancient, something long forgotten by time, but still woven into the fabric of the garden. The moonlight bathes the figure's face in silver, but their features remain shrouded in shadow, as though they exist both within and beyond the realm of night. Their eyes, though not fully visible, glow faintly like the light of distant stars reflected in a pool of water. The depth in those eyes is overwhelming, something ancient, something knowing, as though they can see every part of her. Her soul laid bare. The figure's voice is a soft murmur, but it carries the weight of ages. "I am the guardian of this garden," they say, their words floating through the stillness like the softest breeze. "You have come far, traveler, but your journey is not yet complete." Lily's breath catches as she feels the weight of those words. She does not speak immediately, her gaze fixed on the figure before her. There is something magnetic about them, something that both draws her in and holds her back, as though the garden itself is holding its breath, waiting for her to move. She feels the tension in the air thickening around them, yet it is not uncomfortable. Rather, it is a stillness that invites her to listen, to learn. The guardian takes another step closer, their presence unmistakable. It feels as if they are not just standing in front of her, but rather standing at the very edge of her understanding. The cool night air stirs gently, carrying with it the soft, melodic hum of the garden, an ancient sound that seems to resonate with the rhythm of the earth itself. "You've come to a place of great power," the guardian continues, their voice as soft as the rustling of leaves, but with a quiet authority that fills the space between them. This garden is not just a sanctuary for the body, but a haven for the soul. It is a place where the past and future converge, where memories are woven into the very soil, where time itself bends and shifts. Lily listens intently, her mind racing with questions, but she holds her tongue, sensing that the guardian's words are more than mere statements. They are riddles, pieces of a puzzle that she must unravel on her own. She feels her body relax, the weight of her journey lifting with every breath, but also a growing sense of anticipation, a need to know, to understand. The guardian's eyes meet hers, their gaze penetrating, yet comforting. And you? They say, their voice low and steady, have been chosen to uncover something that has been hidden for ages, something buried deep within the heart of this garden. The words are spoken with such certainty that they seem to echo in the air around her, vibrating like the resonance of an ancient bell. Lily steps back slightly, her pulse quickening. Her mind races, trying to grasp the meaning of the guardian's words. Chosen? Buried deep within the garden? She is overwhelmed by the weight of it all, yet there is a quiet certainty in her heart that this moment, this place, is not by chance. She is here for a reason. "I was not meant to find this place," she whispers, her voice barely audible, as though speaking too loudly would disrupt the fragile stillness of the garden. The thought rises in her chest, unbidden, but she speaks, it aloud nonetheless. Was I? The guardian smiles then, a slow, knowing smile that tugs at the edges of their lips. It is a smile both gentle and cryptic, as if they hold the answers to questions Lily has not yet asked, but will soon understand. There is something strangely comforting about the smile, though its meaning is elusive. "Perhaps not," they say softly, their voice laced with both mystery and reassurance. "Perhaps you were not meant to find this place, but now that you have, you must face the truth that lies hidden in the garden's heart. The truth of your past, of who you truly are." The words hang in the air, their meaning unfolding like the petals of a flower, slowly, methodically, each layer revealing something deeper. Lily feels a stir in her chest, a quiet longing, a sense of both discovery and unease. The garden's beauty, its serenity has not faded, but there is now an undeniable weight to it, a depth that she hadn't noticed before. It is not just a place of peace, it is a place of secrets, of things that have been buried for far too long. The garden, in all its lush, blooming beauty, has a pulse, a heartbeat that matches her own, echoing in the air, in the rustling of the leaves, in the soft hum that seems to emanate from the very earth beneath her feet. And as she stands before the guardian, she realizes that the garden is not simply a backdrop to her journey, it is a participant, it is alive, aware, and it has been waiting for her. Lily feels a wave of understanding wash over her. The pull she has felt since entering the garden is not just the allure of its beauty, it is the garden calling to her, beckoning her to uncover something hidden within its heart. The whispers on the wind, the ancient symbols carved into the trees, the subtle shifts in the air. All of it has been guiding her here, to this moment, to this meeting with the Guardian. The Guardian steps back slightly, their presence still, enveloping the space around them. The garden holds not only the secrets of the past, they continue, their voice now a quiet murmur, but the power to heal, to reveal the truth of what has been forgotten, lost in time. It is not just your body that has been worn down, traveler. It is your soul that calls for healing. Lily's breath catches, and she feels a deep, resonating truth in their words. The weight she has carried for so long, the grief, the sorrow, the burdens of her past have not just been physical, they have seeped into her spirit, into her very essence, and this garden, this magical place, holds the key to unlocking the healing she so desperately needs. The Guardian turns their gaze toward the heart of the garden, where the flowers glow brighter now, their petals shimmering with a gentle light. You must go deeper, they say, their voice soft but filled with an unmistakable urgency. The truth is waiting for you, hidden within the garden's heart, but you must be willing to uncover it. Lily nods slowly, her heart steadying. The path ahead is unclear, shrouded in mystery, but she knows one thing for certain. She is ready to uncover what has been hidden, ready to face the truth of her past. The garden has brought her here, and it is here that she will find the answers she seeks. With a final, steadying breath, she turns and walks deeper into the garden, the soft rustle of the leaves guiding her forward, the hum of the earth beneath, her feet steady and sure. The journey is far from over, but for the first time, Lily feels that she is on the right path. The deeper Lily steps into the garden, the more the air seems to thrum with a quiet, almost imperceptible energy, as though the very earth beneath her feet is alive and aware of her presence. The flowers, once glowing softly in the moonlight, now pulse with an intensity that feels almost urgent. Their petals, vibrant and delicate, seem to shimmer with a life of their own, their colors shifting from pale lavender to deep violet, as though they are responding to her every movement. The fragrance, once sweet and soothing, now carries a sharper edge, an almost electric quality that stirs something within her. An awakening, perhaps, or a sense of anticipation. The path winds ever deeper, the narrow trail twisting like a ribbon, as if the garden itself is leading her, pulling her towards something just beyond her sight. The trees, towering and ancient, stretch their limbs overhead, their branches creaking in the breeze, casting long, delicate shadows that dance across the ground. As she moves forward, the light of the moon, once soft and serene, grows brighter, sharper, more focused, cutting through the canopy like a blade, illuminating the path before her with an intensity that feels unnatural. Lily's heart begins to quicken, her steps growing more deliberate as the sense of urgency in the garden grows stronger. There is no turning back now. The deeper she goes, the more the garden seems to envelop her, as though it is aware of the path she must take, the truth she must uncover. It is no longer just a peaceful sanctuary, it has become a living force, alive with purpose, and Lily feels its presence guiding her, urging her to uncover what lies hidden within its heart. As the atmosphere thickens around her, the gentle hum of the garden intensifies, now joined by a rhythmic pulse, a deep, resonant thrum that seems to vibrate in her very bones. It is as though the garden is breathing with her, every step she takes matching the rhythm of the earth itself. The once serene beauty of the flowers now seems to be charged with an almost frenetic energy, as if they are reaching toward her, eager for something to be revealed. She glances around, her eyes catching on the symbols carved into the bark of the trees, symbols that are no longer just faint markings but now glow with an eerie light, their edges crackling with a soft energy, as though they are alive. The stones along the path shimmer faintly under the moon, their surfaces etched with patterns that seem to shift as she walks by, as if they are responding to her presence, revealing new secrets with every step. The garden is changing, transforming, before her eyes becoming something more, something greater than she could have ever imagined. And yet, despite the beauty that surrounds her, a deep, quiet tension begins to settle in her chest. The sense of peace she once felt in the garden has begun to waver, replaced by a growing urgency, an awareness that the garden is not merely a sanctuary, but a place of hidden magic, of power and mystery, where the past, present, and future converge. The air grows thicker, warmer, the weight of it pressing against her skin like the humidity before a storm. The flowers, once calm and steady, now seem to vibrate with a kind of anxious energy, their soft petals quivering, as if they too are awaiting something. The wind, which had once been gentle, now carries with it a sense of something untold, something waiting to be discovered. Lily's heart beats faster as the path ahead twists again, leading her deeper into the heart of the garden. She feels the pull, a magnetic force drawing her forward, urging her to uncover what lies at the core of this place. There is no doubt in her mind now, this is not a mere garden. It is a living, breathing entity, full of secrets, full of power, and it has been waiting for her to arrive. As she walks, the garden seems to respond to her every movement. The trees grow taller, their trunks twisting upward into the night sky, their leaves shimmering with an ethereal light. The flowers open wider, their blooms pulsing with a gentle light, casting long, shifting shadows across the ground. The very earth beneath her feet feels alive, the ground softening with each step, as though it is molding itself to her presence. Lily feels a sudden awareness, a shift within her soul, as though the garden is speaking to her, not with words, but through the very rhythm of its life. The once subtle hum has turned into a chorus, a rising crescendo that resonates within her, matching the beat of her heart. The whispers that had once seemed distant now fill the air, their meaning clear, though still fragmented, like a song in a language she does not yet understand. It is not just the garden's secrets that are unfolding, her own memories, long buried and forgotten, begin to rise to the surface. She pauses for a moment, closing her eyes, and in that stillness, a vision unfolds before her. It is not a vision of the garden, but of herself, of the person she was before she began this journey. There are faces she recognizes and faces she does not. There are places she has forgotten, memories she has suppressed. But the most striking thing of all is the sense that her past, her very existence, is tied to this place, to this garden. The realization hits her like a wave, crashing over her with such force that she stumbles back. She is not merely a traveler. In this garden, she is part of it. Her history, her story, is written in the very soil beneath her feet, in the roots of the trees that tower over her, in the blooms that pulse with life. She has been here before, and in some way she always has been. The guardian's words echo in her mind, resonating with the truth she is only beginning to understand. The garden holds more than just memories. It is a place of forgotten magic, where time bends and the forces that shape your life are laid bare. Lily breathes deeply, her chest rising and falling with the weight of this newfound truth. She feels the pressure of the garden's magic, the energy that flows through it, like a river, its current pulling her forward. She knows now that she cannot turn back, that the garden will not allow her to. The path ahead is set, and there is no turning back. The air around her hums louder, vibrating with urgency. The garden's secrets are no longer distant. They are close, almost within reach. All that remains is for Lily to unlock them, to understand the role she plays in this intricate web of life and magic. The future of the garden and of herself depends on it. With a final steadying breath, Lily takes another step forward, the ground beneath her feet soft and yielding, as though the garden itself is welcoming her deeper into its embrace. Or it, path before her, twists once more, leading her toward the heart of the garden, the heart of the mystery. And as she steps into the unknown, she feels a quiet determination settle within her soul. The truth awaits, and she is ready to find it. The garden's pulse is louder now, a deep, resonant hum that vibrates through the earth beneath Lily's feet. It echoes in her bones, filling the air with an undeniable presence, a magnetic force that draws her deeper into its heart. The path ahead seems to shimmer, a silvery glow casting light across the ground as though the garden itself is alive with anticipation. The flowers that once whispered their quiet secrets now bloom with an intensity, their petals unfurling wider, revealing deeper, richer colors, as if they are reaching toward her, beckoning her to uncover the truth that lies hidden within their glow. Lily's heart races as the weight of the garden's presence presses in on her, its magic thick and tangible. In the air, each step she takes feels both familiar and foreign, as though the ground beneath her is shifting, responding to her every move. The moon above is brighter now, casting sharp beams of light through the canopy of trees, their twisted branches now reaching overhead like the outstretched arms of forgotten gods. The shadows they cast are longer, more pronounced, dancing across the garden floor in a fluid, mesmerizing rhythm, like the flicker of a candle's flame. The air grows heavier, thick with the scent of flowers and earth, now tinged with a strange, electrifying energy. Jasmine, lavender, and deeper, more exotic fragrances mixed together in a heady, intoxicating blend that makes Lily's senses spin. The air is warmer now, heavier, almost suffocating in its weight. The once soothing perfume of the flowers now carries an edge, as though the garden itself is alive with a kind of urgent awareness, a force that compels her forward. As Lily steps deeper into the heart of the garden, the symbols carved into the trees and stones flare to life, glowing brighter. Under the moonlight, the intricate patterns on the bark and the stones that line the path shimmer with a gentle light, their meanings now clearer, as if they are reacting to her presence, responding to her touch. The deeper she goes, the more the symbols seem to unfold, revealing their secrets in flashes, cryptic glimpses of a truth just out of reach. Her pulse quickens as she realizes that the garden is no longer just a place of beauty. It is a place of memory, of magic, and of destiny. The garden, once serene and peaceful, now hums with energy, its magic coursing through the air like an electric charge. Lily's footsteps grow more urgent, her heart beating in time with the growing intensity of the garden around her. The flowers pulse with a rhythm all their own, their delicate petals trembling in the cool breeze, their glow brighter than before. The very earth beneath her feet seems to shift, the ground softening with each step, as though the garden is offering her its power, inviting her to claim it. At the center of the garden, nestled between ancient stones, Lily sees it, a pool of water, shimmering in the moonlight, its surface still and perfect, reflecting the night sky above. The water is like a mirror, its depths impossibly clear, and as Lily steps closer, she feels a sudden pull, an undeniable force drawing her toward it. She stops at the edge, her reflection rippling on the surface as she gazes into the stillness, her mind swirling with questions, with the weight of the journey she has undertaken. And then it happens. The surface of the water shimmers, a gentle ripple moving across the pool as though stirred by an unseen hand. The water stirs, and Lily's reflection begins to change. The image in the water no longer mirrors her, but shifts, revealing scenes. From her past, faces she recognizes, memories long buried, places she thought she had forgotten. The images blur and twist, fragments of her life flashing before her eyes, until they settle into a single, clear vision. A memory of her childhood, a moment long lost to time, yet still alive in the garden's depths. She sees herself, a young girl standing in a similar garden, one that looks just like this, though older, more weathered, as if it has lived through centuries. The flowers, the trees, the same symbols carved into the stones. And there, standing beside her, is someone she had long forgotten. Her mother, holding her hand, smiling softly, her face filled with love and warmth. The memory is so vivid, so clear, it feels as if she could reach out and touch it. But as quickly as the vision appears, it fades, replaced by something darker. The garden shifts again, the flowers wilting, the trees bending in unnatural ways. The soft, comforting glow of the moon dims, and the air grows colder, heavier. The image in the water changes again, this time showing her mother, standing alone, her face shadowed with sorrow, her expression one of pain and loss. The garden, once a place of peace, now feels like a place of mourning, of forgotten grief. Lily gasps, her heart heavy with the weight of the vision. The garden, once a sanctuary, now feels like a tomb, both a place of life and death, of hidden memories and forgotten truths. She knows now that the garden is not just a place for healing, it is a place of reckoning, where the past, with all its beauty and sorrow, must be confronted. The guardian's words echo in her mind. The garden holds not only the secrets of the past, but the power to heal, to reveal the truth of what has been forgotten, lost in time. Lily takes a deep breath, her mind racing, her heart heavy. She knows what she must do. The truth of her past, of her mother, of this garden, must be uncovered. She must face what has been hidden, embrace the shadows and the light that dwell within this place. Only by understanding both the peace and the pain can she move forward. Can she find the healing she so desperately seeks? With a final, steadying breath, Lily reaches into the water, her fingers brushing its cool surface. The moment her hand touches the water, the garden seems to exhale as if releasing the breath it has been holding. The symbols carved into the trees glow brighter, the flowers pulse with new life, and the air, thick with energy, seems to settle. The tension that has filled the garden begins to ease, replaced by a profound stillness, a sense of release. The garden has revealed its secret, the truth she has long been searching for. And as she stands there, her fingers still resting in the water, Lily feels a deep peace settle within her. The garden, its beauty and its darkness intertwined, has shown her the path forward. It is a path of acceptance, of embracing both the light and the shadow, and in doing so, unlocking the magic of healing that lies within her. The garden, once a place of secrets, now belongs to her, and she to it. The journey is complete, and a new beginning has taken root, as timeless and eternal as the garden itself.